I'm about to turn Mike Wazowski into something truly scary. Hi, I'm Franky, and today we're making monsters. I got 3 of these Mike Wazowski toys from the dollar store, and I was instantly inspired to make them into what they were always meant to be: horror creatures from another dimension. Stay to the end, or else. I'll be using epoxy to add more details to these boys. I'm going to start off by sculpting some teeth, and then some more teeth, and even more teeth. Finally, the last one. I really hope I made enough. I'll actually let these harden while I work on the actual figures. I changed the pose on this one. Make it look like it's about to pull out his eye. I think I'll mess around with these 3 figures just for a little bit to get an idea of what I actually want to do with the main project. It basically gives me 3 test subjects. So Mike is just a ball with eyes and legs. You throw 2 horns on that and you pretty much got yourself an iconic monster. The funny thing about Mike is that there's not much to his design, and there's just something genius about that. To transform him, all you really need to do is exaggerate one or all of those details. These figures are perfect for that. It looks like it's too friendly. It has to be that smile. Look at him, standing there menacingly. We're going for horror here. Kids' bones aren't that easy to break. Trust me, I should know. We need them to look a lot more like they can munch on bones. I'm so glad I made these teeth earlier, and yes, I made way too many, but I will be using all of them, believe me. If not on this project, I'll definitely be using them in future projects. While looking for references and ideas, I stumbled upon what has to be the best and most inspiring picture on the internet. Are you ready for this? I don't think you're ready for this. Copper, put it up on the screen. Oh yeah, we're using some of these details. This I like. This one's definitely for the Instagram pictures. A little trick I like to use to make people think that I'm better than I actually am is using textures around me to add detail to all of the surfaces on my models. Look at them buns. When I started this project, I knew what I wanted to eventually make Mike into. I wanted to make him into a spawner-like creature, very reminiscent of Zelda bosses. You know which ones, the ones with the eyes. While in the middle of working on this figure, I realized I had a better idea. Well, maybe not better, but a really good idea. And I didn't want it to kind of like snap out of my head. So I decided to make the second figure the actual main centerpiece for this video. But first I have to get rid of that stupid smile. I tried to cut the plastic in half, and weird, my first attempt didn't go too well. I thought this was hollow, cheap plastic. I did get it from the Dollar Tree store, so my expectations weren't that high. Oh, was I wrong. I had to bring out the big guns. And when Mike saw them, his jaw dropped. This new Mike hates to be late for work, so sometimes he doesn't have time to chew his food. So we're gonna help him with that by actually giving him a bigger mouth. We're also gonna be adding a tongue to add to the creepy level. I probably should have put the teeth in first, actually. This was a pain to put the teeth afterwards. I also added a layer of epoxy over the eyes. I didn't want to freehand a circle later in the painting process. That would have turned out terrible. Now that his mouth is so big, his arms and his legs just don't look right. Sorry, Mike. We're gonna have to amputate. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, let's get back to the actual video. Let's start to bring back all of Mike's limbs. That's a weird sentence that could get me in hot water if taken out of context. Anyways, I kept picturing Mike crawling out of the closet. I wanted him to get to his target in like 2 moves. And one of those moves was reaching out to get you. His arms had to be long, but I also wanted them to be lanky. For the base, I wanted to keep it simple. Mike uses portals that allow him to teleport to and through any door. So, you will most likely be encountering Mike in your own home. Hardwood just made sense. All I need to do now at this point of the process is to hide all the wire. Easy enough, right? Now, let me tell you something about myself. I really hate working on hands. My plan is to go in and hope they come out right. That's all. That's pretty much the way I go about my life in general. I didn't want him to be too lanky, so I gave him some muscles, mostly the ones that he will be needing to pull you closer to him. I'll also be doing something I've never done before, and that's to have the miniature partially off the base. I think that gives off the feeling of motion that's hard to capture in models. It feels like it's stepping into your space, into your home from an unknown place. I've had people ask me, why do I use figures when I'm just gonna cover them up? And for the most part, I'm just adding textures. And for something bigger like this, it gives me somewhat of a sketch to go off of. I find it extremely useful. I know some people see it as a pointless step, but for me, it's one of those steps that is just gonna make my life easier. I prime the figure and go straight into painting and finally finishing off that base. No, not that base. The other base. I dry brushed the whole figure off to make all of my detailing steps pay off. This is another cheat I use here to make people think I'm a better painter than I actually am. In reality, I'm just a magician. I use ink after dry brushing because it's rich without being thick. Unlike our Mike here, thick with 2 C's. Get it, Mike? I know I want the actual hands to be red, but if you've ever taken an art class, you know that red and green don't mix. So I need a middleman. I use a honey mustard yellow to help me transition from green to red while keeping it looking somewhat natural. I do a lot of wet blending to accomplish this. I use this technique all throughout the rest of the figure. Everywhere from the legs, to the mouth, to the spikes, to the teeth. I pretty much only use 4 or 5 colors to paint all of this. I eventually make my way to the eyes. I start off with a red to outline his eye and eventually give Mike jaundice by making the rest of his eye an off yellow. The only white I want in the eye are for super highlights. I decided to keep his beautiful blue eyes because with every way we've made Mike creepy, I felt like I needed at least one detail on him that was still welcoming. The project is almost done. It just needs one last touch. Perfect. Guys, I give you the real Mike Wazowski. Gang, thank you for hanging out with me yet through another episode of Franky D Crafter. If you would like to support, don't forget to join the Patreon or just like and subscribe because that goes a long way as well. Like always, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.